It's going to be a jump. Now here it looked like a jump. There, this looks like a foul to me.
Yeah.
Indiana, and you can see Caitlin saying you were right in front of her. What made you?
You just never know what's going to happen. It was worse than I thought from looking at it.
But when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you?
Caitlin Clark completely snapped at the officials after witnessing Sophie Cunningham get wrecked on the court, and the refs didn't even blink. No call, no accountability, nothing. What happened in the Indiana Fever's nail-biting 78-74 win over the Seattle Storm wasn't just a bad call, it was a total disgrace. An ugly reminder of how broken officiating has become in the WNBA. This wasn't some minor oversight. It was a brutal foul in plain sight, and the league let it slide. Every WNBA fan and every player should be outraged.
I don't even know what the players can do because the players aren't being protected. And I know so many of the times, like, we're talking about this when it comes to the Indiana Fever, but this does happen across the league. There are many plays that we could pull up. Do you guys have any suggestions on what can actually be done? The coaches get fined when they call them out to the media. Like, this is a top-down issue. This is a commissioner's issue.
Sophie had just secured a defensive rebound and was clearly holding the ball when a Storm player straight up body slammed her to the floor. It looked more like a football tackle than anything resembling basketball. And the worst part? The ref was right there, watching it all unfold like he was a casual spectator at a pickup game, not someone paid to enforce the rules.
Am I ever advocating for players to throw other players on the ground? No, like, we've seen so much of it throughout the WNBA. He watches this happen right in front of him. There's so much contact on the play and he does nothing. He doesn't blow his whistle. He doesn't stop the play. He doesn't call.
That's when Clark completely lost it on the sidelines. Despite being sidelined for 7 straight games with that lingering groin injury, she couldn't hold back any longer.
We have updates and our recovery's going well. You know, it's just, I think for us staying the course and making sure that we're really diligent about each step that we take and that we don't have setbacks and that we're patient with it. I know she wants to be out here on the floor and we want her out here on the floor, but making sure that she's ready is the most important thing. You know, I still don't know how far we are. We're going to take it one step at a time, one day at a time.
Clark couldn't just sit there in silence after watching that level of outright incompetence. She exploded at the ref, shouting, "You were right there. Why'd you change your call?" And honestly, that's the question every basketball fan in America should be asking right now. What we witnessed wasn't just a missed call. It was a whole new level of failure from the officials. If you're sick of watching refs destroy the flow of the game, and if you want to see Sophie Cunningham keep going full beast mode, smash that like button and flood the comments with Sophie Savage. Because this isn't just drama anymore. WNBA officiating is spiraling out of control, and Clark's reaction shows exactly why fans are fed up. This league has a serious problem, and it's getting harder to ignore by the day.
The officiating in the WNBA, I kind of already went off on it, but it's just atrocious. Really, really bad. Like, there have got to be rules to present overt physicality from dominating the game. And that's what we've got. We've got it in the NBA, we've got it in the WNBA. Nobody wants to call a bunch of fouls, but these officials don't know what a foul is and a foul isn't. They can't even tell when a ball goes out of bounds. Like, you've got 2 million plus people watching some of these games. You have got to have a correctly officiated product, or at least confidently officiated product, and competently officiated product.
The refereeing in the WNBA has officially hit rock bottom, and it's not just Indiana Fever fans calling it out anymore. Across the league, players, coaches, and fans are speaking up, and they're fed up with the awful calls happening week after week. It's honestly gotten absurd. Sophie Cunningham was fined $500 just for making a TikTok calling the refs stupid and useless. But when players are getting physically assaulted on the court, silence. No flagrant. No fine. No accountability. That right there tells you exactly where the WNBA's priorities are. And the league's response, even worse. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert actually claimed that winning teams don't complain about officiating, only losing teams do. Seriously? That's gotta be one of the most tone-deaf statements imaginable, especially when the league's biggest star is getting hacked and smacked every game while officials look the other way. It's gotten so outrageous that even respected coaches like Becky Hammon are publicly losing it. Veteran stars like Kelsey Plum are walking into press conferences covered in scratches, asking how they only got to the line 6 times, despite getting mauled all game.
And I got scratches on my face, I got scratches on my body, and these guards on the other team get these ticky-tack fouls, and I'm sick of it. I get fouled like that every possession. Ricky gets fouled like that in the post all the time, and they don't call it, and I don't know what else to do. Like, it's really frustrating though. I'm like, I feel, I mean, there's multiple shots at the end of the game, either go into the third, into the fourth, where they're just coming and swinging, and they just don't.
While all eyes have been on the referee chaos, one player has been quietly shining through the madness: Sophie Cunningham. She just delivered another lights-out performance, proving once again that she's become the Fever's most dependable clutch weapon, while Caitlin Clark continues to recover from injury.
That's a PNW win! W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Oh my gosh. That one just aged me, but we're getting better. Shoot, good win. Win's a win.
A dub is a dub, so keep on rolling.
Good job! I'm really proud of you guys. There were so many ways in a close game and in game situation where we grew today that were huge for us, y'all. That will pay dividends. So great job. I'm proud of you guys. Everybody contributed. Everybody came in and gave us a lift. Kels, I know it was a tough shooting day, but the way you facilitated and that one big jumper that you made. We dug in and got stops when we needed to. I mean, big time win, y'all.
Sophie Cunningham was lights out, hitting 5 of 6 from the field and knocking down 4 of 5 from beyond the arc, finishing with 17 points. But here's the wild part that says it all. She was the only Fever player to make a 3 the entire game. Just her. That's both a massive credit to Sophie and a serious red flag for the rest of the roster.
Games from Sophie Cunningham, the only player on the Indiana Fever to make her 3 tonight. The Indiana Fever were 4 of 21 from downtown, and Sophie Cunningham hit all 4 of those 3s. 17 points. And the difference between this and the Lynx game, which was Sophie Cunningham's last really good breakout game, this wasn't late. This was, oh, we're struggling offensively, somebody needs to come through, and Sophie Cunningham came through.
Sophie's insane stretch of performances is no fluke. She's been on fire. Fans have even started calling her the Blonde Bomber, because every time the Fever need a clutch shot, she delivers. And ever since that viral brawl where she stood up for Caitlin Clark, her confidence has skyrocketed. That moment turned her into an overnight sensation. She gained over 800,000 followers, and her jersey sales went through the roof after the Connecticut Sun showdown. Now she's playing like someone who knows the spotlight is locked on her, and she's thriving under the pressure. Every game she's proving that she's not just built for the moment, she owns it.
Be the Blonde Bomber. Sophie the Trophy lit it up again tonight. Man, she has been nothing short of spectacular as of late. 5 of 6 from the floor, 4 of 5 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 17 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Sophie, the Blonde Bomber, has been on fire. Sophie stepped it up in a big time way. That is what you need. When your best player is out, you need the ancillary pieces to step up and deliver. And that is what Sophie Cunningham has been.
Sophie's rise from a bench piece to a full-blown star has quietly become one of the most exciting storylines of the entire season. She's stepped into the enforcer role with zero hesitation, and she's been the Fever's most reliable scorer night after night. That kind of two-way dominance is rare at the pro level, but as great as she's been, even Sophie couldn't completely cover up what almost turned into yet another Fever collapse. Let's be real, Indiana nearly choked away a 13-point third-quarter lead. Again, it's like the moment this team gets comfortable, the coaching staff forgets how to function. For longtime Fever fans, it felt like deja vu. Another heart attack finish when the game should have been in the bag.
The Fever did everything possible to blow a game, but still come out with the win. That was a near epic level collapse, folks. Wow, it should have never gotten that close. Lexi Hull, Stephanie White waited till the very last minute to put Hull in on defense. She should have been in there from 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes in on defense. They could not seem to get a big rebound to save their life. and this almost turned into a disaster.
The Indiana Fever just almost pushed me to a heart attack. The Indiana Fever nearly blow a 12-point fourth quarter lead. We allow the Seattle Storm to go on an 11-0 run in the fourth quarter. Stephanie White, I keep telling y'all, I don't trust her. I'm sorry. We give up a 11-0 run within the last 4 minutes to let this team cut the lead down to.
Indiana was up 55-42 midway through the third quarter, riding Sophie's hot hand and solid contributions from the supporting cast. But then, like clockwork, everything unraveled. The moment Caitlin Clark isn't on the court, this team starts playing like they've never touched a basketball in their lives. Seattle took full advantage, going on a 10-2 run to close out the third and slicing the Fever's lead down to just 4 heading into the final quarter. What should have been a routine road win turned into yet another fourth quarter panic attack for Fever fans. The Storm clawed their way back and made it a 73-72 game with just over 3 minutes left. At that point, you could practically hear every Fever fan collectively reaching for the blood pressure meds, because we've all seen how this usually ends. This team has developed a maddening habit: build a big lead, then forget how to play basketball when it matters most.
Boy, they almost blew it. Nonsensical whistles to stop runs, or how about blowing a whistle to stop the other team's run? Coming out in the second half, I will never back off of this. When you come out in the second half and you start losing leads, that is a coaching issue. I don't care what sport you're in. All right? Because what that tells you is the opposing coach went into the second in the halftime, made adjustments. The other team comes out and they start figuring it out. Well, it's up to your coach to make adjustments against that adjustment.
It's like this team has a mental block when it comes to closing games. And once again, it nearly cost them. The main reason for the near collapse? It couldn't have been more obvious. Kelsey Mitchell had one of the worst shooting nights of her entire career, and it dragged the whole team down with her. It was tough to watch, probably even for Mitchell herself. She went just 3 for 16 from the floor and missed all 8 of her three-point attempts. At times, it felt like she was doing more to help the Seattle Storm than her own squad. Her cold streaks have become so predictable, it's like you could set your calendar by them. And when she goes ice cold like this, it's almost always a disaster waiting to happen.
Mitchell could not get it going today, and I told y'all she is a roller coaster. You gotta remember, she went off versus the Sky, then she was 8 for 24, then she had a good game, then she was down again, then last game she was up, this game she's down again at 3 of 16. This is Kelsey Mitchell. She's a roller coaster. She's a roller coaster. She gave you 9 points on 3 of 16, shooting 0 of 8.
Kelsey Mitchell's inconsistency has become a serious issue, and it's driving everyone crazy. One night she drops 23 points like a superstar, and the next she's bricking everything in sight. She's the definition of a roller coaster. Zero in between. That unpredictability makes it nearly impossible for the coaching staff to rely on her. Over the past few games, she hit just 11 of her last 34 shots, and that's brutal. When your second scoring option is shooting like they've got a blindfold on, it makes winning way harder than it needs to be. Thankfully for Indiana, others stepped up big time to avoid what could have been a devastating loss. Aaliyah Boston finally looked like the all-star she was meant to be, putting up 16 points and 12 rebounds on 7 of 11 shooting. After weeks of inconsistency, Boston reminded everyone why she's supposed to be the anchor of this team. She dropped 9 straight points in the middle of the fourth, basically saving the game when everything around her was falling apart. Her timing couldn't have been better. Now that Caitlin Clark's still out, Boston returning to form gives the Fever exactly what they need: someone other than Sophie Cunningham to carry the load. Her dominance in the paint, especially against smaller defenders like Wnba, is exactly what Indiana's been missing. She's playing with more aggression, attacking the rim, and stepping up defensively. And let's not overlook the vets. Natasha Howard deserves massive credit. For the second straight game, she poured in 21 points and has been everything the Fever needed: a steady veteran leader in the middle of chaos. She's cutting to the rim, finishing tough plays, and using her basketball IQ to calm the offense whenever it starts falling apart without Clark's presence. Howard isn't trying to be the star, and that's what makes her so valuable. She knows her role, plays it to perfection, and helps keep this team locked in when the pressure hits. You can see it during timeouts. Younger players look to her for guidance. That's championship DNA right there. In a league where everyone wants to be the face, Howard's just doing her job, and doing it flawlessly. Meanwhile, on the other end of the court, Seattle had every chance to steal this game, but just couldn't close the deal. The Storm had multiple open looks down the stretch and couldn't knock them down. Skylar Diggins-Smith missed 2 wide-open threes that could have flipped the game, and Nneka Ogwumike, who scored 16 overall, disappeared when her team needed her most in crunch time. But the real heartbreak came in the final seconds. Gabby Williams had a clean look at a game-tying 3 at the buzzer. It looked perfect coming off her hand, but it rimmed out. Basketball can be cruel like that. One bounce can decide everything. And for Seattle, those late-game failures have become a pattern. They've got the talent to compete with anyone, but they keep fumbling games they should win. Their execution in the clutch is shaky at best, and worse, they don't seem to have a clear go-to option when the game's on the line. Those issues are seriously hurting their playoff chances. The Storm are now 16-13, and they've dropped 3 of their last 4 home games. Not the kind of momentum you want this late in the season. Time is running out for Seattle to fix their chemistry issues and late-game collapses. The Western Conference is stacked this year, and every win matters when it comes to playoff seeding and home court advantage. As for Indiana, this win was huge. The Fever improved to 17-12, now tied with the Storm for the 5th best record in the league. And thanks to this win, they hold the all-important tiebreaker. The Fever have now rattled off 5 straight wins without their best player. And honestly, that's wild considering how much they relied on Caitlin Clark earlier this season. They're now 9-7 in games she's missed, a solid record for a team many assumed would completely collapse without their superstar floor general. But here's where things get interesting. This unexpected success raises major questions about Clark's return. The Fever's upcoming schedule is packed with tough matchups, and every win is critical if they want to hold on to their current playoff positioning. With the playoff race tightening by the day, they can't afford to slip, and they desperately need clarity on when Clark will be back. Fans were buzzing when Caitlin showed up to the arena in shorts like she was ready to go, but then never suited up. That moment alone had everyone asking, is the team just being overly cautious, or is there more to this injury than they're letting on? Every game matters now, especially in a loaded Western Conference where just a couple of losses could mean falling out of playoff position or losing home court advantage. And while the win over Seattle was big, what made it even more impressive, and a little concerning, is that the Fever got almost nothing from their bench. Outside of a few scattered minutes from non-impact players, the second unit was invisible. That's a major red flag. Indiana's lack of depth has been exposed more than once this season, and if they have any hope of making a serious playoff run, they'll need someone from the bench to step up. When players like Mitchell have an off night, somebody else has to provide scoring, energy, something to shift the momentum. Coach Stephanie White has her work cut out for her. She can't rely on Sophie Cunningham to be flawless every night. That's not sustainable. And her decision-making during high-pressure moments is starting to raise eyebrows. Her fourth-quarter rotations and timeout usage against Seattle left a lot of fans questioning whether she can handle crunch time when it matters most. All of this is happening under the shadow of something much bigger, the officiating disaster that's completely taken over the WNBA season. The refs are dominating headlines, not for good reason, and it's taking the spotlight away from the elite-level basketball these women are playing. Night after night, refs are letting dangerous plays slide. Players are getting hurt, physicality is out of control, and there's no consistency with the whistle. Caitlin Clark has missed significant time because refs won't protect her. Dirty hits, flagrant fouls, and yet no action. It's created an environment where defenders know they can push the limits and rarely face consequences. And the ripple effect goes beyond just one team or player. When Sophie Cunningham got slammed to the floor with no call, her reaction captured the frustration that's boiling across the league. These athletes deserve better. The fans deserve better. And the WNBA better fix it, fast, before this problem ruins what should be an incredible, historic season. Caitlin Clark's explosive reaction from the sidelines said what every player, coach, and fan has been thinking: something has to change, and fast. This officiating disaster is threatening to derail what should be a historic season for women's basketball. The WNBA is finally seeing explosive growth, packed arenas, record-breaking viewership, and a wave of new fans. But all of that momentum could vanish if games keep getting hijacked by bad calls instead of great basketball. Through all this chaos, though, one thing's been clear. The Indiana Fever refuse to fold. They've proven they can win without their superstar. But it shouldn't come with the added obstacle of refs who look more focused on stirring up controversy than enforcing the rules fairly. These officials should be letting the best players in the world do what they do best: put on a show. Instead, they're turning the spotlight away from the athletes and onto themselves, and fans are getting tired of it. But here's why there's still reason to believe in this Fever squad. They've ripped off 5 straight wins without Clark, showing that when this team is healthy and locked in, they can legitimately contend. The pieces are there. Sophie Cunningham has emerged as a true star, clutch, fearless, and built for the big moments. Even with hostile crowds and questionable officiating, she keeps showing up and showing out. That's what championship caliber players do. If Aaliyah Boston keeps dominating like she has lately, if Natasha Howard continues being the calming, experienced voice they can rely on, and if Kelsey Mitchell can just find her shot and stay consistent, then this team becomes dangerous in the playoffs. But here's the truth. They'll need more than just star power. The bench has to show up, and the officiating needs to get fixed. Because this team has the talent, they've got the heart. Now they just need a fair shot. If that happens, if everything clicks when Clark returns, don't be surprised if the Indiana Fever make a deep run at the WNBA Finals.